Back on TYT Sports, the NBA Finals Game 1 wrapped up with a 104-89 Golden State Warriors victory. Game 1 at Oracle Arena. There is not the craziest amount to break down with this basketball game. Andre Snelling's going to be joining me in just a second to go into depth here. But here's the main headlines from the game. Curry and Thompson shot cold. They got shut down in a way, couldn't really find their shot until very late in the game where they hit 2 threes that were needed to really pull away and seal the game. The Golden State Warriors bench, 18 of 24 combined from Andre Iguodala, Shaun Livingston, Leandro Barbosa. Livingston leading all scorers on 8 of 10 shooting with 20 points, dominating that mid-range game that we've seen him sporadically throw in a couple shots a game, but not, as Andre is going to mention, I'm sure, in volume. And of course, the other Andre, not just Andre Snelling's, Andre Iguodala, which Andre Snelling's wrote an article on just yesterday about how he is the LeBron stopper or is he the LeBron speed bump, and what his game defensively means to the Warriors, all of a sudden became even more threatening on the offensive end of the court. Now, in terms of the Cavaliers, LeBron James. I don't know what else this guy could do. Granted, he was 9 of 21 from shooting. He kept taking it to the rack, and he actually was having success getting there, but the Warriors' arcing defense in the paint found a way to really just collapse on him. But here's a guy who put up 23 points, 12 rebounds, 9 assists in 41 minutes of play. When they took him out, they were getting run off the floor, it seemed like, the Cavaliers. And you put him in, and all of a sudden he can kind of really, not all of a sudden, we know this by now, but he can control the pace of the game. Kyrie Irving's 26 points, Tristan Thompson strong on the offensive glass in the first half. All right, Andre, man, this was a game through the third quarter. It was. The Cavs kept playing it close. What was it about that Warriors bench trifecta, Iguodala, Barbosa, and Livingston, that won the Warriors game 1?
Yeah, I mean, I like your recap, and of course, we were doing some talking before we came on the air. I don't even know what you can take away from this game moving forward, because if you told Cleveland, like, okay, you're going to shut down Steph Curry, you're going to shut down Klay Thompson, Draymond Green's going to do Draymond Green things, you can't help that. That's what he does. But, I mean, if you just laid out what happened, they would be like, okay, we will take that all 7 games, and if that happens, it won't even go 7 games. We might sweep. How do you plan for Shaun Livingston and, Andre Iguodala and Leandro Barbosa? Just not only were they not missing, they were so aggressive. Like they were, you mentioned Livingston, he's got a decent mid-range shot. I've never just seen him repeatedly go to it. Like he was posting guards up. I'm taking this to the rack and I'm just going to shoot over you. And, like you mentioned off the air, like, well, could it be a problem for the Cleveland guards that Livingston is so long? Livingston's been longer than every point guard in the NBA for his career, ever since he's been healthy. For it to just come together and click like that on the biggest stage, I could not have seen that coming. As far as, your actual question, what happened last night, it seemed to me that the Golden State bench brought energy and athleticism right during the time periods when Cleveland was wanting to rest their players. Either LeBron was resting or if the starters on the court were kind of taking their foot off the gas. And it happened in both halves. You mentioned it was a game till the end of the third, but really, when Golden State brought the bench in, they pushed it out to a 12, 14-point lead in the first half. It wasn't until the starters came back in that Cleveland started, chipping away at the lead. And by the end of the third, they had it down to a tie game. Golden State brings the bench back in, and all of a sudden it's back up to 20. So as far as predictions go, it almost feels like that's lightning in a bottle, and now we're just in a 6-game series, and we're just all going to pretend that didn't happen. If we're talking after game 2 and the same thing happened, I don't know what to say.
It would make for one of the strangest NBA finals we've really ever seen, given how much the superstars for the Warriors, it's not that they didn't show up, because I think we need to give Draymond Green a lot of credit, and here's where exactly. Him and Andre Iguodala's hands in transition were mind-blowing to me. They were stripping Kyrie Irving full speed before he could even get inside the three-point line in transition. And the Cavs scored more points in transition than the Warriors did. But you mentioned the aggressiveness, especially of Andre Iguodala, which we also talked about how on the three-point line, confident in his three-point shooting, was 2 of 4. Here's a guy who's not ever been known as a confident three-point shooter. But his ability to kind of recognize that and then drive in just to get the ball moving. I mean, the Warriors as a team finished with, I believe, 29 assists total. But those 29 assists, only 8 of which came from Curry and Thompson. Thompson doesn't really assist the ball all that much. Curry had 6. So just the amount of just absolute dominance in terms of bench ball movement and confidence in the second unit was something that we can't expect to see regularly in an NBA Finals series. And, I'm reading through a couple of the different game wraps from across the web, NBA.com, Yahoo Sports, of course, RotoWire, and things like The Ringer, and everybody's got the same takeaway from this. You can't logically expect the Warriors bench to shoot 80%, like going forward. And then, of course, we talk about, well, what adjustments do the Cavs make? My feeling is you don't make adjustments. Do you think there's any adjustments to be made in Game 2?
Yeah, X's and O's wise, kind of like I said earlier, if you could tell the Cavs with your approach, Curry and Thompson are going to, at one point they were like, 4 for 17 from the field. I don't know what they ended up. But, I mean, yeah, I think that a game plan is built from the top down. And so slowing Curry,
Yep.
Trying to run him and Thompson off those three-pointers, I think that's probably what they will try to do. I think for me, one thing that they might change, and it could have contributed to the bench, is that they may have over-focused on Curry and Thompson to the point, I noticed there was just a lot of times last night where whoever was shooting was wide open.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was, it wasn't NBA wide open, which means you got a couple feet. I mean, it was like they had time to find the laces on the ball, and really like square up. And that kind of time mixed with it being a home game, maybe that's enough to get those bench guys some confidence, feeling like, you know what? I've seen a couple of my shots go in. Now I'm ready to go for it. So maybe you don't want to take the pressure off of Curry and Thompson. I mean, I think that's the main priority. But there were times when I saw like 3 people going after Curry, and then he kicks it out, and there are 2 people wide open. Maybe you try to find some middle ground.
Yeah, Draymond Green had about 8 feet of space on most of his threes that he made. And just it wasn't just Green who had the space. That whole team did. And Klay Thompson, the one thing I'll give him credit for in that game was as a trailer, he found he was really making nice cuts in the lane a couple times, which I know you could just tell from the look on LeBron James's face after Klay would come storming in and they get an easy layup. He was not happy. But maybe not as mad as Steve Kerr when he karate chopped his what do you call it?
The clipboard. Or telestrate, whatever that is.
Exactly. And the other, I guess, somewhat big internet moment was Matthew Dellavedova's sack tap on Andre Iguodala. And I got to say, the best thing I read from the sack tap moment from Matthew Dellavedova was, or at least to Andre Iguodala, was not everybody takes a shot to the nuts like Steven Adams. Andre Iguodala took a full shot, didn't really look too fazed by it, and then turned towards Delly. I thought maybe the stare was going to knock him out.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a terrifying up front. Just look in his eyes. And maybe that gave him even more motivation, even more confidence to just really just get to the rim and just be more aggressive than anything else. All right, Andre, Game 2 at Oracle Arena on Sunday. Hopefully no more Ghostbusters ads with Carmelo Anthony, Porzingis, Kobe. God, man. Got to be $50 million in advertisements just there alone. Kobe, we have an idea for you. You're going to be in the Ghostbusters commercial.
Always wanted to be a Ghostbuster, didn't you?
Maybe he did. Who knows? Maybe that's his future career. Ghostbusters 2, Ghostbusters 3. But Game 2's at Oracle Arena on Sunday. What do you think happens if we have to do a prediction for Game 2 just for fun? Do the Cavs come back just like last year's NBA Finals and take Game 2 in Golden State? Then we actually all get free Doritos Locos Tacos. Steal a game, steal a taco is the thing. Or do the Warriors take a commanding 2-0 series lead?
I think that Game 2, the Warriors have to be braced to take the best punch the Cavs have. I think they really are going to come out and try to steal a game. I think that if any adjustment on their side, I mean, LeBron played 41 minutes, but maybe they're a little more focused with their rotations and focused with their energy level. So I think they're going to come out hard. The thing with the Warriors is that they have the kind of team that, you know, I don't know if you remember in Oklahoma City going into game 2, I was saying that I thought maybe the Thunder could possibly steal game 2 by a little bit, or else Golden State was going to win by a lot.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of have that feeling coming into this game that even either the Cavs might steal it and it'll be like a competitive game, or Golden State might win by 25. You know, I don't necessarily see this game being close if Golden State wins, because if they win, I think it's going to be because they have another one of those games where the bench is playing at least solid, but now this time Curry and Thompson are hitting their threes as well. So either close for Cleveland or blowout for Golden State is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's I have the Cavs winning game 2, but not by a lot. I think any of the games the Cavs win in this series won't be by a lot, and I do hope that at least goes 6 or 7. For the sake of more basketball is always better than less basketball. The season's coming to an end, but we still have what we would hope for, a great NBA Finals ahead of us. We know that the Cavs will take a cold shooting Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, but with every single game, every new game is a new opportunity for Curry and Thompson to combine for 70 points and go lights out from the three-point line. So we'll see what happens with Game 2. Obviously, we'll be back Monday with a recap of Game 2. You can follow Andre Snellings at Professor DRZ on Twitter. People were asking in the comment section, what is your PhD in? His PhD is in the game of basketball, people.
There it is. Also, PhD in hoopsology.
That's hoopsology, hoops lab, all that stuff is over on rotowire.com. It's also one on Fansided, I believe. Check out us on TYT Sports. Like, favorite, subscribe to this video. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.